ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is BWP Encore Radio! With me, the hardest working and best looking referee in British wrestling today, Max Davis. And alongside me is my co-host. He is British Wrestling Media and Production Supremo, Chris Dutton.
Not you too kind, Max.
Well, you know, I've got to put you over, no one else will. And we're joined this evening by BWP referee Johnny Goodman.
Hi Max, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, especially after what you've done this evening, helped me out a lot. Because we are half an hour removed from the BWP Summer Rumble.
Unfortunately, due to the in-ring actions that transpired this evening, our scheduled guest, which is supposed to be Steve Saxon, is currently holding a meeting with our board of directors at BWP. So unfortunately, we have to announce that he's unavailable. We do apologise. Obviously, we had a lot of questions sent in for Steve tonight, but maybe we can reschedule that.
Yeah, it will definitely be rescheduled. We will bring you that at a later date.
It was something I think a lot of people were looking forward to, so yeah, absolutely get that in as soon as possible.
Yeah, and of course, we'd like to thank you for sending your questions in on the Facebook page and on the Twitter account. So let's go back a couple of months to the Young Dragons tournament. It was a brand new concept by BWP, and it pitted four of the best up-and-coming talents in the UK from the male section and from the female section, and we ended up with two winners, obviously male and female. What did you think about who was competing in that, Chris?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I think that it's a great concept and a great idea for us to hold a tournament like this. I think that the young talent is our future in wrestling, and I think it's important that we have at least one night a year where they are the showcase and they are the main event, and they are kind of put on the pedestal to show what they can do and what they're going to bring to the future of wrestling, really.
Yeah, it definitely gives, especially our BWP trainees at the dojo, something to aspire to look towards, and a competition that they could also potentially win and showcase their talent to the management at BWP.
Absolutely.
Potentially coming up to the main card.
Absolutely. I mean, the quality of the talent speaks for itself. I mean, the event was phenomenal. It's available, on demand right now for you to subscribe to and watch that. It's a very great, a great show to go back and watch.
Yeah, it's like you were saying, they're the future, and if we don't nurture this young talent now, then the business could die out.
Absolutely.
And none of us want that. So who did we have in the male category?
We had Drew Parker, Ethan Silver, Troy McCarthy, and Sonny Durson.
And do you remember the matches?
It was Drew and Troy McCarthy, and then we had obviously Sonny and Ethan. Drew won his respective match, Sonny won his, and obviously the events that happened in ring led to Sonny winning the eventual tournament. Obviously, that's disregarding what happened post-match with the red right hand. That was obviously
the red left hand.
Well, yeah.
We won't talk about that.
I will.
I nearly flipped the video actually.
I say hopefully they've edited that out for the BWP footage.
It's there unfortunately.
And all the chants as well.
Yeah. Obviously, Sonny Durson was our eventual winner. Won clean as a sheet. Very fair win. No nefarious tactics, considering that he is obviously not exactly liked by the BWP Faithful.
No, but that being said, okay, he might use dubious tactics at some points, but he is one hell of a talent.
Absolutely.
There is no denying that. As were all four guys. They were superb, and they were a credit to the BWP that night.
Yeah,
they really
absolutely.
were a credit. So let's move on to the females.
Right, we had Violet Vendetta, Lana Austin, April Davids, and Lizzie Styles.
Right, it was April Davids' debut in BWP,
Yes.
and what a strong debut it was.
April Davids is probably one of my favourite female workers in the country. I think she's severely underrated. Just an amazing overall wrestler.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
I'm amazed that she didn't make it further in the tournament, but that kind of speaks for itself, the quality of the other females that were involved.
Yeah, indeed. I was impressed with all four girls. And at the moment there seems to be a bit of a differential between the quality of the male what the males can do and what the females can do. But the females are closing the gap at a rapid rate, and they will be up there with the guys very, very soon.
I think much as it is in the States at the moment, women's wrestling has really had a turnaround. You know, obviously with over in America, the NXT, the Divas Revolution kind of thing.
We're not allowed to call it that anymore. We're not allowed to call them divas.
Right, okay. What I was going to say is the quality, I think it's caused the talent over here to step up their game as well. There's a lot of women now going over and doing tournaments in Japan and working over in Japan and in America. A number of our British talent have been signed by WWE and have gone on to wrestle for companies like Stardom in Japan, and that just speaks for the quality of the female wrestler that's coming out of the country right now, and I think it's really good.
For me, it was actually a treat because I'd never got to see any women's British wrestling before. So this tournament that BWP put on, it was fantastic.
So it opened your eyes to that.
Absolutely, yeah. To see the talent that is available out there that are touring Britain at the moment, and for them to show it's not all about having a pretty face, having big boobs and strutting around the ring. They're actually really talented wrestlers. Yeah. So
absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, of course. I mean, one of my first ever matches was at the Fifth Beach against Lana Austin, and I can assure you, she kicked the shit out of me. She really did. I enjoyed every minute of it, but she kicked the shit out of me. And of course, on that night, we also had the return of the beef. Dylan Roberts, 100% Welsh beef. Dylan Roberts made his return to a huge ovation. I thought that Debbie Town Hall was going to crumble because of how loud that pop was.
I was lucky enough to be in the audience for that, and it actually got goosebumps. The hairs on my arms were standing up, and it was an absolute amazing atmosphere to be there and be involved in. He's obviously been away for a long time, and for him to come back in the squared circle again, it was just amazing to be there, a part of it.
I mean, I think we all knew since he retired last summer, the amount of emails and messages we receive, you know, personally asking when's Dylan coming back, you know, we want to see him, and where's beef, and the ovation that he got when he came back just completely did it justice. It was just an amazing moment to be a part of.
Yeah, it was. And of course, that moment wouldn't necessarily have taken place without Don Micho either, who he was up against. And we'll talk a little bit more about Don Micho shortly.
A lot to say on Don Micho.
Yeah. But it takes two to go in there and come out with a good end product. And those two did a great job that night. They really did.
Yeah, going back to Sonny Durson, of course, he was the eventual winner of the male tournament. Post-match was very interesting. We were talking about the red right hand. Obviously, anyone that was there or has seen it since knows that Sonny Durson is the newest member of the red right hand. Big Exy is out.
Yeah, they did the number on Big Exy, unfortunately.
Very shocking, and that was caused by events that happened in the Dylan Roberts match, leading to his win. Obviously, Don Micho wouldn't have been happy about that at all.
Knowing Big Exy like I do as well, I would say that he's not going to take that lying down. I know he wasn't here this evening at the Rumble, but I can assure you that he will be back. You will see him in the BWP ring, and he will be looking for revenge.
I feel a bit sorry for him, to be honest. We all make mistakes in life, don't we? And at the end of the day, did that mistake warrant that reaction? You know, I think the red right hand sort of a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to him, and
yes,
you know, they're all assholes, aren't they? So.
Well,
having said that, I think the fact that Sonny Durson won on his own, he didn't need any interference from them. I think it just speaks for his quality as a performer, that they saw something in him and they wanted him in the group.
So we'll go back and talk about the ladies' tournament, which was eventually won by Lana. Those of you BWP Faithful who have been with us for a while, you will recognise her. She was with us a number of years ago. She was a member of the Pack, and she was the babyface Pitbull's girlfriend. So she is well known. Yeah, and some of you might recognise Violet Vendetta. She has worked for us before. And so, of course, is Lizzie Styles. We haven't seen her in a number of years either. And I think all four women put their best in that night. and shown exactly what they can do and why female British wrestling is on the up and up.
Yeah, I mean, whether it was the male or the female tournament, you can't discredit any of the performers because they were there for a reason. They are some of the best in Britain, and that's why they were on that card, and that's why they were in that tournament.
For those of you that haven't seen the Young Dragons tournament, you can go onto the BWP on-demand service and watch it now. You can rent it for £2.50 or you can subscribe for £3.99 a month. Also, I won't be surprised if the Young Dragons tournament will again be seen in 2017. Okay, so we'll move on to tonight, which was a big one, especially for you, Johnny.
Show.
Yeah.
It was your debut
I've gone
as a
from,
referee. How did you find that?
It was eventful. Obviously, prior to the Rumble, I was involved in a bit of a miscommunication with yourself during the Mark
There's no
Morgan,
miscommunication.
Dan Hardy.
Dan Evans threw me in front of...
Dan Evans.
What did you call him, Dan Hardy?
Dan Hardy. Not the MMA fighter Dan Hardy. He was not a BWP. It was Dan Evans, Mr. Massive himself.
You pissed?
No. I'm driving.
Yeah, it wasn't a miscommunication at all. Dan Evans pushed me in front of Mark Morgan's flying knee finisher, and I think I sold it like a son bitch.
You did tell him.
You did take it like a champ.
It was good, wasn't it?
Unfortunately, I wasn't to know.
I watched it back, but yeah, that was one hell of a match, and of course, what happened after that, which I think is one of the reasons why Sax can't be with us, is the retirement of Mark Morgan, which came as a big shock to myself, and I'm sure it did to the BWP Faithful as well.
Absolutely.
I don't think anyone saw that coming.
Devastating, to be honest. Somebody that, obviously being in the business for a short amount of time, somebody that I could look up to, aspire to, because of the talent that he's got. He seems to have everything, the ability, the looks, the personality, and for him not to be around the company anymore is a big loss for everybody.
Mark Morgan is the total package, and he's going to leave a massive void with him leaving, retiring.
Yeah, indeed. He's probably one of the most underrated talents in the UK. And I'll always have fond memories working with Mark. I was there, I refereed. Anyone that remembers the early Mark Morgan, remember he had long bleached blonde hair.
Pleather.
He had his pleathers, but he had long locks of bleached blonde hair, and he lost in a match to Keith Myatt, and because of that loss, they had to shave his hair. And I ref that match, and I had to hold him down in the chair whilst Keith Myatt was shaving his hair, and and because
He's never
of
grown
that,
back since.
no, it hasn't grown back since. No.
Hell of a job.
Because of that, his character, the way he came across, he just tweaked it ever so slightly and become sort of more serious.
Almost like a stunning Steve to a Steve Austin.
Yeah, I would say so.
You could
Yeah,
say so, yeah, very much
blonde
so,
hair
yeah.
too, with the bald headed.
kind of an anti-hero kind of persona.
Yeah, in a way, because he went full heel after that. And of course, if you're a heel, but you're very good at entertaining, you will still get over with the crowd. I think that forced BWP management to actually switch Mark Morgan around from sort of heel to tweener to face, if that makes any sense. That being Mark Morgan's final match, I think it's very fitting to his career, because that's probably the finest match I've ever seen him have.
And no discredit to Dan Evans, it takes two.
Of course. He wasn't in there with a broomstick, was he?
No, I mean, regardless of his regardless of his alignment, Dan Evans is probably one of the most underrated wrestlers that I've seen in British wrestling. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I expect a lot more good things to come from Dan in the next sort of 12 to 18 months, because the amount he's matured in the last 12 months, you can only get better.
He's developed a real mean streak.
Yeah, love him or hate him, I'm expecting big things of him.
Yeah, indeed, yes, of course. So let's move on to the tag match, which was, of course,
it was Dan Talon's boys, Disco Burt Fabulous and Dave the Rave Desire versus Pyro and Dean McManus.
For the PWI World Tag Team Championships.
What a match it was.
It was.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it was, and you will get fun whenever you get Dean in the ring with Pyro doesn't really have that much of a comic element to him.
I mean, the last time I was working on a match that involved those two and Dean McManus, they ended up with a spotlight in the ring doing a dance-off, so you really never know what you're going to get with either of them.
No. Yeah, with Bert
And Dave.
yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
With Bert and Dave, they are probably one of the best comic tag teams in the UK at the
Oh,
moment.
yeah. Definitely.
Hilarious. Yeah, tears rolling down my face. The moment where Bert had been dropped onto the ropes, he hurt his nether regions, and Dave gets down on his knees and starts blowing on it. Absolutely
As
hilarious.
you do, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably the best blowjob I've ever seen.
It certainly was.
But I mean, you can't, you know, they may be a comedic tag team, but you can't discredit their abilities as well. They are both great wrestlers, and there's no denying that. Seeing Dave do a tope con hilo plancha over the top rope is one of the most ridiculous things I think I've ever seen.
Or seeing a man of Bert's size doing a moonsault from the top rope. No, I'm not saying he's a big man, but he's not of an athletic build, and he's almost of a Kevin Owens type. You just don't expect it, and when he pulls it off, you're like, oh my god, has he really just done that?
And he nails that moonsault
Every single time.
Every time.
Apart from when he rolled out the way, obviously, and he smashes his face.
Yeah, but he still nailed
He nailed the man. He nailed that man.
He still nailed it. You know, I wouldn't be able to do something like that, regardless whether there's someone laying there or not. So he's nailed it.
Absolutely.
So, elsewhere on the card we had Son of Durson in his first match officially as a member of the Right Hand, taking on the Babyface Pitbull.
Yeah, and it was nice to see that the red tape was actually on the right hand this time. And he was up against Pitbull in what I thought was, again, another stellar match.
Very physical contest.
You would expect that from those two every day of the week. And of course, the ending to that match was a bit of a distraction from Filthy Woodbine, and then a quick roll-up for the 1, 2, 3.
With the handful of tights, I don't know if you were aware of that.
A handful of tights.
Handful of tights, yeah.
No, all I saw was Pitbull's shoulders. They were flat on the mat.
That's why the Red Right Hand are as successful as they are.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I can only call what I see.
It saddens me a little bit that Sonner feels like he had to use nefarious tactics to win the match, considering he is, you know, a prize fighter of sorts. You know, he's quite capable of winning on his own without that kind of help. But I mean, it's the Red Right Hand. It's, you know, do whatever it takes.
It is, but you also got to take his opponent into account, which is the babyface Pitbull,
That's it.
and he is not an easy man to pick a victory up against. Not at all. He's been at BWP for many, many years now, well before my time.
Former catchweight champion, former Welsh champion until recently, so he's got the credentials.
Yeah, indeed, he has. And as a former shoot fighter as well, and you can see that in his style.
Absolutely.
You know, that fisherman's suplex.
Oh, that's with authority.
With authority, yeah, and I've taken that off him before. So, of course, the big marquee event of the night was the Summer Rumble itself.
Where do we start with that?
Let's start at the beginning.
Well, maybe should we maybe say that as well? I'm not sure if we mentioned it earlier, but this match was now for the PWI BWP World Catchweight title.
Of course, because Mark Morgan relinquished the title when he retired, Steve Saxon did come out and state that the winner of the Summer Rumble would become the new champion. Indeed,
you have to think that will have energised the guys a bit in that match.
Absolutely. I was backstage prior to the Rumble, and obviously after that announcement, and you could see that the mood in the locker room absolutely changed. People were fired up, and from the fact of it being a title shot to being for the title, there's so much more to play for there.
Oh, the intensity in that locker room was off the charts. I mean, you could tell right from the start of the match all the way until the finish.
Everyone was gunning for everyone. There was no friends in that locker room prior to that.
No, and that was shown by Dean McManus actually eliminating his tag team partner, Pyro. But let's start at the beginning. Entrant number 1, Filthy Woodbine. How did we think about Filthy Woodbine's performance tonight? What did you think of his performance tonight?
I think he hung on a lot longer than anyone anticipated.
I was just gonna.
And I definitely say hang on.
Yeah, well, it's
Because
quite easy to do when you're sat in the crowd, though.
He did
isn't
spend
it?
half of it watching from the sidelines.
I suppose in a way we kind of have you to thank for his elimination, putting it back in.
Yeah, well, you know,
Stone
we'll
Cold Max
we'll
was
get
the
to that. We'll get to that. He started off the match with.
The babyface Pitbull.
Indeed, he did.
I mean,
Glad to see you were paying attention, John.
I had to, you know,
As a
being
designated referee.
debut referee on the sidelines, make sure my eyes are peeled.
I mean, as we know, we knew Filthy was going to be number one as of, last month's event. But I don't think anyone realised, what was going to happen. Who was going to be number 2, 3, 4. I don't think he expected that for sure. And what a surprise he got when Pitbull was number 2.
Yeah.
Dean McManus was number 3, and number 4.
I did I hope it becomes a bit of a signature move. The dog's bollocks as Pitbull put it. He was,
We've seen
a
this.
bit too much of that for my liking.
We've seen this. I've heard you like stuff like that,
Yeah.
Chris.
I think he sat on his face for about a minute and a half.
Yeah,
until
we
the next entrance.
have
Got the
seen
time
this
or place
from
to comment.
Pitbull before, where they get him into some sort of lock. I think it's a wrist lock.
It's a wrist lock.
A wrist lock of sorts on the mat, and he straddles his
Almost
opponent's head.
teabagging, I suppose.
Teabagging is, I would say that's a pretty good
It's a sign of
description.
dominance, isn't it? A sign of dominance on his part.
Well, yeah, of course,
if he
that's
gets you
what
down-
any Pitbull would do for dominance.
I mean, if he gets you down, you're not going anywhere unless he lets you.
I was half expect him to cock his leg, do a little bit of a wee, and mark his territory. He's going to go full Pitbull on him.
I think it will be right to mention that number 4, no one expected, especially not Filthy Woodvine. Our leader Steve Saxon.
Yeah, it was one of the highlights for me was seeing Steve back in the ring.
I mean, it was short-lived, but
Yeah,
unexpected.
I won't say short-lived, but I think he took some liberties, if you could say, with.
He stopped my countdown. I was not aware of this. Obviously I take orders from the boss. He tells me to stop the Rumble countdown. I stop the Rumble countdown
because he was enjoying giving Filthy such an ass whooping.
That's the joy of the Rumble. You just don't know who's going to turn up.
It
could literally be anyone.
I don't think. Well, one thing he wasn't expecting for sure was the lights going out and Danzig.
Yeah, what was the crack with that, lads?
I have no knowledge of this. It was nothing to do with me for sure. I have no idea who orchestrated that or the reason behind it.
Well, one could only assume it was something to do with the League of Violence.
Obviously,
going
Danzig,
on the video that was portrayed at the Young Dragons tournament.
We know.
Steve!
We know Danzig has an agenda with Steve Saxon. We don't.
I
know
thought he
what
just
it
wanted
is.
his toilet paper locked in that bathroom.
That when.
Steve!
Give me TP for my bungalow!
Put on bungalow, Steve!
I'm never gonna live it down.
No. But absolutely, in terms of what actually went on, the lights went out, the lights came back on, Danzig was standing there, the lights went back out again, boom, gone. Phenomenal.
And of course that distracted Steve Saxon long enough for Phil to eliminate him for the Rumble. And
Yeah. And I'm sure Steve would have been quite upset with that because knowing Steve like I do, I'm sure he would have liked to have been his very own champion.
I mean, obviously, I can only imagine that Steve would have wanted himself and Phil to be the final 2 in that Rumble, so he could really finish the job. I think he was only getting started, but it is what it is.
God knows what would have happened to Phil if the 2 of them did stay in that long.
He didn't go lightly on Filthy at all. And it was short-lived, but I think he got the message.
I was actually so impressed with his running Inzaguri into the corner on Phil. That was absolutely phenomenal.
Steve's Inzaguri.
Yeah.
Steve's Inzaguri is one of the best I've ever seen.
Who knew?
I use...
Obviously, you guys have seen it before. I was like, wow.
I use an Inzaguri whenever I'm training. It's one of my go-to moves, and it was Steve that taught me the Inzaguri, and I like that, especially the way Steve does it. And Steve's finisher is also a gunslinger. We didn't see that tonight, but that's a brutal move as well. So who else have we seen tonight then, chaps?
To be honest, there were too many spots in this Rumble. There was so much going on, I couldn't even keep on top of it. Obviously, I am editing these titles now for the on-demand service. I'm looking to get it up early next week, so it should be up pretty soon. And you can, of course, subscribe and watch that for the very low price of £3.99.
And it will actually be available before this Encore episode goes out into the demand service.
If Chris pulls his finger out.
So it's online now, so go watch it.
Yeah, give us your money. We want your money.
Historically,
Steve wants your money. Steve!
I spoke to Steve himself post-show, and he assured me, he said that is one of the most historic shows we've ever had.
It was the best BWP event I've ever been to and been a part of, and phenomenal.
One of the highlights for me was entrant number 13. Do we know who entrant number 13 was?
I believe it was Mr. No Fear I Lloyd.
No.
Was it not?
No, try again.
I believe that his theme might start with glass shattering.
It might have
It
been.
was.
And I tell you what, he wasn't a bald-headed beer drinker either. He was, of course, my very good self. I was an entrance into the Rumble. I was an entrance into the very first Rumble a few years ago, and this is my second appearance in the Rumble, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thoroughly enjoyed giving Filthy Woodvine a couple of shots, because that's what I think of him.
And would you like to tell our listeners how long you actually lasted in the in the Rumble?
I would love to, but I can't remember because I was choked out.
I'll tell you how long. Probably about 30 seconds. But
Thanks, mate. I've been putting you over all night, and then you just go and piss all over
Summer
me.
Durson is a hell of a worker.
Yeah, well, me and Sonna will have words.
I'm sure that you two will cross
Obviously,
paths down the line.
the events that transpired from his elimination from the Rumble left poor old debutant referee manning a 30-man Rumble on his own while Max here was unable to breathe.
How inconsiderate.
I know.
Oh yeah, I'm so selfish.
It's
God.
terrible.
Did you enjoy it though?
I loved it.
Well, stop complaining.
Stop complaining.
Well, stop complaining then.
It would. I think it would be appropriate to probably mention there was a number of debuts this year in the Rumble, people we haven't seen before.
Do you remember their names?
A few of them.
Do you remember their names, Johnny?
Again, a few of them. Some of them were very, very hard to pronounce.
That's good, because I don't.
unfortunately.
Yeah, they did well. I was impressed with one or two of them. If I had to say anything and pick up on anything, I would say lads just stiffen them strikes up a little bit. They looked a little bit weak. Other than that, great. They served their purpose. They did what they were told, and they made a good debut.
I did pick up a leaflet. Apparently we've got a new MP in town. The Right Honourable Miles Johnson. Never heard of him.
No, I hadn't heard him until the Rumble either. Was there a bit of a cock-up, Chris? Because
I did.
Two people come out at once.
I want to say that it was my fault, but I cannot honestly say that it was my fault.
Was
let's just say there was an issue with the playlist that I was given for the show, and there may have been someone's entrance video left off of the playlist.
Who gives you the playlist?
I don't know if I should name any names on the podcast, Max. It's absolutely not Steve Saxon.
Absolutely not. Steve!
Oh, he's got a lot of stuff going
But
on, obviously.
I've got to be honest, this is the second time I've done one of these Royal Rumbles, and something always goes wrong.
Yeah, it's the second time you've done a Summer Rumble, you mean? Not Royal Rumble. Surely you don't work for WWE as well, right?
A Summer Rumble. It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
It's a very hectic it's a very hectic atmosphere that night.
I can safely say that it was the only, I would say, cock-up of the evening as far as I'm aware.
Oh, you obviously weren't listening to Kim Rox when she was introducing people.
One job.
One job. Right, so let's talk about Danzig, because we did see him and we have touched upon it that he did suddenly appear in the ring during the Rumble and then disappear, and then he did make his entrance
As an official participant, yes.
Yeah, and he obviously had a big hand to play in the elimination of Steve Saxon. But that being said, once Danzig made his official entrance into the Rumble, Steve Saxon had a big hand in eliminating him.
He did indeed. Just after eliminating Drill, just after Danzig eliminated Drill, Steve Saxon appeared from the stage, walked down, distracted Danzig.
Brandishing a kendo stick, might have.
Well, unbeknown to Danzig, he didn't see this kendo stick, obviously concealed behind Steve Saxon's back, slid it into the ring underneath his legs. Who was there to receive this kendo stick as a willing gift, but none other than Troy McCarthy. Danzig turns around, wha-bam! Right in the kisser, kendo stick to the face. Danzig's eliminated.
And I bet that was so sweet for Troy, seeing what's gone on in the recent months between Troy, Drill and the League of Violence. That must have been so satisfactory.
Not to mention that Drill helped to pull him out, so...
And I can tell you, Danzig was not best pleased at his elimination, even going for me on ringside.
I mean, I saw the man coming backstage after I had to stay out of his way. He terrified me.
He is
He
quite frightening.
terrifies anyone.
He's quite frightening.
He wasn't in the best of moods, and I think that we're going to see a lot more of this over the summer.
Yeah,
between Danzig and Steve Saxon.
Steve Saxon, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That has not come to a head at all, and it might do towards the end of the summer season.
I'm actually quite worried for Steve Saxon's welfare if that's the case. I know he can handle his own, but we just don't know what goes on in that mind of Danzig.
This is a family man with kids, you know. You've got to think outside of wrestling. If Danzig has an agenda with a man like Steve Saxon, what kind of effect can have on him personally?
He's a disturbed, troubled man, is Danzig.
I've seen something similar to this before when the brand actually visited Steve Saxon's house, and whilst Steve Saxon's family was in his house, I don't think Steve was there. He might have been. There was a video about it a few years ago, and so this isn't anything new for Steve. I think Steve might even relish this.
You have to wonder what's going on in the mind of Steve Saxon though, because I mean Danzig is the kind of person, we've seen it before. He went to the house of Dylan Roberts, you know, making footage of Dylan's wife, you know, and was quite happy to put that on the screen for all of the faithful to see.
Well, he actually kidnapped the League of Violence.
Absolutely.
Kidnapped Dylan Roberts' wife.
So if that's what a man's capable
of,
then Steve Saxon should definitely be wary, not scared, but definitely wary of what this man is capable of.
I think if anything, the events of the Rumble actually might have made their relationship even worse than it was before.
Yeah, indeed. So moving on, we did have two very special guest entrants into the Rumble. We had Ravy Face Pitbull, and we had Dylan Roberts. What do we make of this? It was a comedy spot. We can't hide that.
I honestly could not tell the difference. I thought we had duplicate Pitbulls and duplicate Dylan Roberts.
It's happened before. It's happened before.
I mean, Bert has made a habit of doing this in the past. Impersonating wrestlers. I don't think it was the smartest thing for either of them to do it when their counterparts were still in the ring.
That showed afterwards when they were eliminated by their counterparts.
They may have wanted to rethink that. Obviously, they wouldn't have known that those two were going to be out there necessarily, but it didn't end too well for them.
Yeah, stick to the WWE gimmicks, lads.
Yeah.
You won't get into so much trouble then. And let's move on to the eventual winner of the Rumble.
Well, the final four, we had Ry Lloyd, Mr. No Fear, who obviously has gone without mention yet. He did enter fairly early in the Rumble. I think it was just one before yours. I got confused.
He was in there a long time.
It was number 12, I think. So he was there a long time. The babyface Pitbull from number 2 made it to the final four. We had Dylan Roberts and number 4,
Don Micho,
who entered fairly late on. I think it was number 27, if I remember rightly.
Well, you got better memory than me.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure number 27.
So there's a lot of you got to remember 30 places there.
So they were the final four, and
so let's just disregard what happened in the end. If you had to pick a winner out of them four,
this is something I was actually going to touch on, based on the fact that he's just had a year off, obviously because he was GM, and based on the fact that he just came off a comeback win against Don Micho, my instincts were telling me that Dylan Roberts was going to be the winner. You know, I mean, not to discredit any of the guys in there, but if I had to pick one, it would have had to be him.
I would have picked Pitbull because, you know, he's won the PWI BWP catch weight the most amount of times. He's held that more times than anyone else.
I'd have to go for the underdog. I like a good underdog story, and I would have gone with Mr. No Fear Ry Lloyd. He showcased during the Battle Royale at Money in the Bank that he was capable of winning. Obviously, what materialised there, he wasn't eventually the winner, but definitely capable, in my opinion, of winning a Rumble match.
I suppose when you put it like that, you did come awfully close at the Champions War and the Money in the Bank.
And who doesn't like a good underdog story?
Actually, if you all go back, Max Davis, Ry Lloyd did actually win. Well, not officially, but technically he won the Money in the Bank Battle Royal. But obviously,
No, he never. Don Micho did.
well, obviously, from what the fans would have seen is you had kind of an altercation at ringside with the red right hand. What you may not have been aware of was Ry Lloyd did actually eliminate Don Micho, who then got back in the ring and threw out Ry Lloyd. Conveniently, for yourself to see and ring the bell.
Yeah, I was hoping this wasn't going to come up because I have seen the footage.
Obviously.
And I can only call what I see. If I didn't see it, then I can't call it.
The underhanded tactics of the red right hand strikes again.
Once again, this is why they are as successful as they are. And this will come into play shortly in this conversation. Again, I'm going to say exactly the same thing. So he has come awfully close, that's what I was saying.
If you break it down, at the end of the day, Max is there to do a job. He's there to officiate the match, but he's also there to protect the wrestlers. And if the red right hand are going to come there and try to intervene in that match, then his job is to prevent anything from happening. And he was doing the right thing by assisting at ringside.
At the end of the day, there's only one designated referee for these kind of matches, and if he's otherwise distracted, he can't be aware of what's going on elsewhere in the ring. And that's just the way it is.
That's it, yeah. I mean, if I had eyes in the back of my head, I'd be one of the world's best referees. But unfortunately, no referee has eyes in the back of their heads.
So you're still the world's best referee.
Oh, cheers, Johnny. That means a lot, brother.
Well, I've got to aspire to be something, haven't I?
Right, so, yeah, we've touched on the last four. The eventual winner of the Rumble, of course, was Ry Lloyd, which meant, personally to me, and I know it would have done to Steve Saxton as well, it meant a lot because me and Ry started training on the same day, on the opening day of the Britannia Wrestling Academy, as it was known then, now known as North Wales Wrestling Dojo. Me and Ry have been on the journey together since day one. So it was a proud moment for myself to see Ry in the middle of that ring with the championship belt held aloft above his head.
It was amazing, and obviously eliminating both Dylan Roberts and the babyface Pitbull at the same time with that drop kick, which was.
I mean, it meant a lot to a lot of people, especially people in the crowd. I mean, that crowd went ballistic.
Yeah.
When he eliminated those two, what a moment.
He was the actual first graduate from the North Wales Dojo, if I'm right in saying. I don't think there's anyone yet to come of it.
Well, it's been a long journey for him. Obviously, he's come close. He's on the cusp for quite a while now. But now you can say he's officially been recognised as a former. Shall we go there, or shall I say, as a PWI World Catchweight champion?
Of course, he had the title around his waist. He won it.
Yeah. But
and I
Chris
touched on it.
Just touched on it. He is now, however, a former PWI World Catchweight champion. Because as soon as the bell rung and the celebrations for Ry Lloyd had started, Don Micho made his way out to the ring and cashed his Money in the Bank in to myself, and we were away again for what turned out to be quite a short match for the championship, which
Absolutely disgusting behaviour from Don Micho. Why not let the young lad relish in his championship glory?
Yeah, but at the same
Don
time,
Micho is an opportunist, and Ryan Lloyd eliminated him from the Summer Rumble, and Don Micho is not the kind of person to let something like that lie. He will retaliate, and as we know, he is the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. So in his eyes, what better time to capitalise than on a weakened Ryan Lloyd?
yeah, and he was well within his rights to.
I can't.
What kind of man does that make Don Micho?
An opportunist.
To capitalise.
He's a very smart man. And I can't
A coward.
comment.
That's what I say.
I can't comment on the method of what happened at the end of this match, but as far as realising that opportunity and cashing in that briefcase, that is a very smart individual.
Yeah, we know that.
I ultimately think he's a coward. Face Ryan Lloyd one-on-one. We know what happens there. Ryan Lloyd comes out on top. That's why. He's scared of him.
Well, when that match, and if that match comes around, I'll let you ref that. Because I know that Don will be listening to this podcast, and I know he will not take them words lightly from you, Johnny. You better watch your back now you said them, mate. Him and the rest of the right hand, they're not to be trifled with at all.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, as we said there, we touched on it. Your new BWP World Cashweight Champion, Don Micho. He had a hand on the ropes for the pinfall. Were you aware of this, Max?
Again, no, but we've talked about this
yeah,
before.
once again,
I can't
this is
see
the nature.
anything.
So
This is the nature of
what I see there, you're calling him. So if he did see it, then he counted it. Are you trying to?
I'm wondering if he's seen the footage back. Obviously,
Okay. I thought you were trying to discredit his refereeing ability. So are you trying to say that
better not be.
that he's on side of the red right hand and he counted it?
I'm more trying to prove the point that, as I said earlier, the red right hand are very smart and they know how to, divide and conquer. And
we've said it before. That's down to Don Micho's leadership.
Don Micho is an amazing, there's an excellent leader. He picks people that he knows are the future of this business and are going to help him get where he wants to be and get him the results that he wants. And this title is a trophy for him, and he knew damn well that they were going to do their job and distract you as a referee. Not that it's any of your fault, but they did their job, and he is now the world champion.
I apologise. I thought you were trying to implicate that Max Davis was on the books of the red right hand.
I'm just saying,
isn't that stupid?
I'm just saying that they. I mean, I had a feeling, whenever they're out there at ringside, there's going to be trouble. And once again, just proved there's a reason why they're on top.
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast, isn't it? It's the nature of the beast.
I have a feeling that Don Micho is going to be a champion for a very long time.
Again, cowardly tactics.
I
feel that without these underhanded tactics and having the red right hand at his side, what kind of man would Don Micho be?
For those,
I officiated Don Micho's first ever match within the BWP, and I seen him put a man through a wall in that match, in the fifth.
Yeah. I just want to say something. I don't know if you guys haven't seen this. This is an exclusive. I've got it right here in my pocket. I was given this just now before we came on the air. Filthy Woodvine gave me an SD card, and I've already checked this card out, and I'm going to put this into the release of the Summer Rumble on demand because I want people to see this message. Is a video of Don Micho and the Red Right Hand backstage, and they're celebrating. Right here, literally must have been within the past hour, and it's that basically the message they're sending is that Don Micho says he is going to be world champion for a very long time, and I have to say I wouldn't query that.
No,
given what happened tonight.
No, we have already said Don Micho is a very clever fella, and he the way he leads the red right hand and the way he orchestrates the way they behave out of the ring to distract the referee, he will hold on to that strap for a long time, I feel.
For anyone that wants to see this match, of course, this I'm going to put this into the release of Summer Rumble. You'll be able to watch this next week. Hopefully it will be out by this point, obviously. So check it out. It's worrying, to say the least.
Okay, so let's move on. What have we got in the future? What's coming up, guys?
We're about to kick off
Well-
our summer season going into August. We have multiple shows coming up in Real Little Theatre. They start on Saturday the 6th of August and they stem all the way through 13th of August, the 20th of August, and then Bank Holiday Sunday, which ends our summer season on the 28th of August. They're going to be really, really good, entertaining shows showcasing the best that BWP has to offer, and fun for all the family. So if you've got, nothing on, some things to do for the kids,
Even if you've got something on,
Well,
pull it off and come to BWP.
Absolutely, yeah. Even if you cancel all your plans, tell your wife, I'm going to BWP, and I'm going to watch the wrestling
I'll
with
tell
the
you
kids.
what, and I know this from experience, we're all parents. The summer holidays are the absolute
They
worst for keeping your kids entertained.
Well, you've got 4 weeks there,
The
4
first,
weekends,
the
sorted.
first week or two is fine, but after that, hell. Right, so every weekend right now, take your kids, take your family, go and watch these shows. They are going to be something special. We always have a great time with the summer season. They're always really good shows. Always loads of fun.
And only £7 a ticket.
Oh, you can't
Bargain.
can you?
What can you get for £7 nowadays? Not
Se-
much.
700 penny sweets.
700 penny sweets. They're not even a penny anymore, probably.
350 penny.
Tickets can be bought via Facebook, via our Twitter account. You can hook us up on there and message us directly and book your tickets in advance.
Who are we looking forward to seeing on during the summer season?
Well, I know who you're looking forward to seeing.
Who's that?
Mr. Son Durson, perhaps. Will we be
Uh,
seeing
unfinished business.
I'll be having words. I can't see me getting into any confrontations with him.
Well, you've got a reputation to keep you a senior official. You can't be known to be getting into fights with talent because that wouldn't be...
It's been known before.
I think it will be very interesting to see our champion, Don Micho, seeing who he's put up against.
Well, I'm sure Ryan Lloyd's going to have a chip
Well,
on his shoulder from
elsewhere-
getting that opportunity snatched from him
Absolutely.
unlawfully.
Absolutely. What kind of a
No,
state
it wasn't
of mind?
unlawfully.
Of course
no,
it was.
No, it wasn't
I'm absolutely
unlawfully.
disgusted at his behaviour.
It wasn't unlawfully.
Let the man have
It
his
was counted
opportunity.
officially by myself as the referee. It was an official win. Okay, what transpired for the pin?
The man has no ethics. That's what it boils down to.
No, but that's why he's in the position that he's in right now. That's why he's the world champion. That's why he's leader of the red right hand. That's why he's on top of the company.
Okay, enough. I can't. It makes me angry thinking of it. We'll have to move on because we could stand here, sit here at Denby and talk
It makes you
about
wonder.
what a disgusting achievement it was that he.
It makes you wonder. What kind of a state of mind is Ryloi going to be in?
He's
Yes.
going to want retribution.
Are we going to see
I
him
tell
this
you
summer?
this now, I wouldn't like to get on the wrong side of right, and that's what they've done.
I know from experience that training at the dojo that he's got a nasty side, and I think Don Micho is going to see that nasty side because he's going to want that title back. He's tasted the gold now, and he's
It's
going to want that back.
definitely his nasty side is definitely gonna manifest itself during the summer season. I feel. I think it will do. But we digress. Who else are we looking forward to seeing? I tell you who I personally looking forward to seeing is rolling into Real train station on the life train is CJ Banks. I don't know if he's booked. I really do hope he's booked.
He's a very busy man, as we all
Yeah.
know. So I hope so. We've not seen him at BWP for a while now. So
No, he was. He wasn't at the Rumble tonight, and I thought he might have been. Mind you, was it last year's Rumble when he was booked and his music hit and he didn't come out at all?
I believe it might have been, yeah.
Was that last year?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure them telling boys were the Disco Burt and Dave the Rave. I'm sure they'll make an appearance
We
in
have
the
a
summer,
great time.
bringing the comedy.
Yeah.
Dylan Roberts being another one there for sure. And all your favourite BWP superstars will be there. Right, let's move on to the big announcement that hit us just a couple of days ago. It was announced by the BWP head office that we
It's a game changer.
Yeah, game changer. BWP have signed a contract to produce wrestling shows at the Dome, Grand Central in Liverpool. It's that's a huge huge breaking news to everyone, and no one, and I mean no one, knew that this was going to happen.
And I know because I tried multiple times. I said, "Give us a hint, Steve. What's the surprise, Steve?" And he said, "I want to tell you, but I can't. You'll find out when everybody else does."
Yeah, and to be fair, I was probing Steve as well to find out what it was.
Oh, right.
Not like that, no.
Oh, those days are gone, are they?
Yeah, I'm married now.
Yeah.
It's redundant.
So, on terms of a level of announcement as far as hype, I mean, how big is this for us? I mean, the Dome Grand Central, it's a historic, it's
Iconic venue.
Iconic venue, yeah. It's absolutely beautiful, and it holds a lot of fans, and I can't imagine if we sell out when we sell out, what that's going to be like on the night as far as atmosphere. It's just going to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, well, let's flip the coin. How big will it be for Liverpool to have such a reputable, family-friendly show?
Well, I'll tell you what, if Liverpool...
let's think about what Liverpool's famous for at the minute. Okay, the Beatles, the Everton, Liverpool,
The Perm.
the Cavern, the Live, the Mersey, and now, famously, BWP are there in Liverpool.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
massive.
in my opinion, what Liverpool deserves is, most of all, is a consistent source of family-friendly professional wrestling, and that is exactly what they're going to be getting starting in
Obviously,
September.
we know there are other promotions that operate in Liverpool, and I think this will be one of the first that is based around families, if I'm right in saying.
Yeah, we've got TNT at the
Yeah,
minute,
but yeah,
which is more...
over 18.
It's an over 18 only,
It's an over 18 show.
Which is a very good show.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
If that's what you enjoy. And then, of course, we've got Infinite, who used to run the Dome.
Yeah.
Again, a very good wrestling promotion. However, they don't run as many shows as BWP.
And obviously, this is a multiple event deal. There will be more events post September. It's not just a one-off.
No.
We have yet to announce them, but there will be more. So feel safe that we will be back.
Indeed.
It'd be nice to showcase the talent that we have at BWP that have been quite isolated in our shows that we do in North Wales. I know we do
I agree.
various carnival shows up and down the North Wales coast. It's going to be nice to break into England and showcase to a pool of a population of more. We can attract more to a bigger venue. We have the area there to attract more people.
And I'll tell you what,
And
Liverpool,
it's going to be sorry.
Liverpool fans are a crazy bunch. They really are.
We don't do fans like Scouse fans, they say, but
Are you big Scouse fans and die-hard Welsh fans?
have these Scouse fans been down to Denby Town Hall on a Rumble night and seen these Denby diehards?
Well,
I'm sure they're giving a run for their money.
And I'll tell you what, the Welsh wrestling fans are not taking this lightly. I know for a fact there will be minibuses of our Welsh fans going up to Liverpool to watch this show.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, I've spoken to one of our fans. I was actually on the way here this afternoon, and she said that she thinks it's lovely, great, brilliant that BWP are in Liverpool, and that there will be at least 3 minibuses travelling up from Denby.
It speaks for itself. It speaks for itself, the buzz surrounding this event.
Yeah.
It's not just the Liverpool fans that are going to get this. Everyone wants to see this. Everyone wants to be a part of this. And I hesitate, if you even have the slightest interest, make arrangements and get to Liverpool. You do not want to miss out on this show. It's going to be huge.
Got a new business proposal there. Saxon coaches. Get them running up to Liverpool.
Okay, unfortunately, guys, that's all we've got time for. So, for all our listeners and all the BWP Faithful out there, if you can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and of course subscribe to our on-demand services. If you're listening to this, you already have, so please tell your family and friends about us. Now, don't forget, we're going to be back here, right here in Denby, on the 24th of September for Denby Town Hall Brawl 8, which I'm sure is going to be a hell of a show. It always is. You Denby fans, you love a great scrap, and I'm sure that's what you're going to
It's
get.
the day the rules book goes out the window.
It's the day the rule book does certainly get thrown out the window. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of BWP Encore. Sorry there's been such a delay since our last show, but we will be back very shortly. Please stay tuned. If you log on to Facebook and have a look at the BWP Encore page, you will see when our next show is coming up. So until the next time, from me, Max Davis,
Chris Dunn.
And Johnny Goodman.
it's No Star. And we're joined this evening by the debuting referee here this evening. Dickhead.
Yes, that's me. I'm Dickhead. Thank you for having me on the show.
And we're joined this evening by BWP referee John Goodman. No,
Johnny Goodman.
Johnny Goodman.
Good, right again.
Jump in, Johnny Goodman.
No, we're not using jumping.